Welcome back to the Yaffee program right here on News Talk 770 AM 92.5 FM WVNN. It is your woke detox center, your rehab if you deal with some woke nonsense, maybe at your house, your work, whatever. You listen to me and you just feel better. What can I say? It's a rehab for you to move on. There you go. Anyway, let's end the show like we usually do. We have the Yaffee program rewind. That time of the show where I remind you if you missed any of it live, well, the podcast is there for you. We make it very convenient for you. I'm not going to go to your house and just redo the show for you if you miss it. But go to the website, WVNN.com, and you can, if you missed it and you really need your voice of reason, it's there for you. Very easy. Anywhere you subscribe, get your podcasts, you can find it. So at the beginning of the show today, I interviewed Congressman Barry Moore, who, as you know, is a candidate for the U.S. Senate. One thing we did talk about, and I talked about later on in the show as well, is the breaking news out of the Supreme Court this week, where they did go against that 3-judge panel that decided to say Alabama's map was still racist. Supreme Court said, no, we're not racially gerrymandering anymore, so you can't come in and then go against us, which I knew this was going to happen. I thought it was pretty much a given, and I still believe that the 3-judge panel knew this was going to happen, but did what they did anyway. So Barry Moore gave his reaction to that, also talked about the economy, the midterms, and his bill where he wants a disclaimer put forward if there's trans stuff in kids' material. So check out that interview. We had the Alabama bullet points as well. One of the stories in the Alabama bullet points, which I might talk more about tomorrow, but Governor Kay Ivey proclaimed June as Strong Families Month. Now, obviously, this is in reaction to it being called a Pride Month for the LGBTQ community. There's actually a lot we can discuss here, the ramifications, why this is necessary. But I did have the details of her proclamation in the bullet point, so you can check that out. Also, we talked today about that case out of the UK where an innocent man was stabbed, and the perpetrator claimed when police got there that he was attacked for his race by the person who was actually stabbed. And because the person stabbed, injured, was white, the police said, oh, he must be a racist. And while he's bleeding to death, they handcuff him and basically ignore him, so he dies. Now, Nigel Farage, who is a lawmaker pundit over in the UK, sure you've seen him before on Fox News a bunch as well, he had posted a reaction to this. Play the Nigel Farage cut for me, Walker.
Think of this. The biggest fear a police officer now has going about his or her duty on the street is the fear of being reported for having acted in a way that was racially biased. That fear, now greater than dealing with a dying man living on the ground. Henry's family have responded to this in just the most extraordinarily dignified way. But I suggest the rest of us respond to this with pure, cold rage. This is wrong. All the values and standards of living in a free country where everybody is judged equally before the law have been trashed and thrown away.
All right, so he's right, by the way, on that. So we talked about that earlier. We also talked about the latest in Iran, where Marco Rubio says the war is basically over, and in a way he's right, because we've been in this 2-month ceasefire. And to me, that's the problem, that we've been in this weird limbo, and people are frustrated because, well, I mean, gas prices are still high, still affecting the economy, world trade, everything else, and Iran still hasn't completely given up their nuclear weapons program. But go ahead, if you can, play Marco Rubio cut 1, Walker.
They have agreed to negotiate aspects of their nuclear program that just a month ago, or just a year ago, they were refusing to even mention, much less enter into discussions about. They were going to build for themselves so many missiles, so many drones, so many conventional weapons, including a navy, that at that point, there's nothing you could do about it. They have to commit to their willingness to do that. For example, they have to commit to say, we will dispose of the enriched uranium, and the question now is, what are the mechanisms by which we do so? Any sanctions relief is condition-based, which means it has to be in return for the reason why those sanctions were put in place in the first place, which is their nuclear program.
All right, so we talked about that earlier on in the show. In fact, go on to play Trump Cut 1 as well for me, Walker.
He is giving approval because that's the way it has been for a long, long time. His father and then him, I guess it's a succession. But we seem to be getting along quite well. We have, with the exception of the oil for a short period of time because of the war. I mean, other than that, we have very little inflation. The country is doing fantastically. We're leading the world. We have $18 trillion being invested in the country in just 11 months. I wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit perturbed at his...
You can stop it right there. So there you go. Talked about that earlier at What's Trending as well. And this segment of the program brought to you by Jay's Appliance Outlet. You want to go there today for the best deals on new appliances. They even have scratch and dent deals to get a better price. Located off 72 in Athens, Jay's Appliance Outlet. Go today, save some money. When you do, let them know Yaffee sent you.
The Yaffee Program.